Hey guys, it's Nicholas here from upgradetoLife.com and welcome to this video called Neville Goddard's 3 propositions. Okay, 3 main things to understand in order to master your life, in order to master manifesting, in order to, get the things that you want to experience, right? So I want to directly jump into that. Just a quick side note before I do that. If you want to learn more about Neville's teachings, if you want to investigate into them, if you want to take things to the next level and make his teachings part of your normal lifestyle so that you can achieve your goals more effortless, more flowing, more natural, and you just want to apply it the right way to get results, then feel free to check out the 2 links in the video description, my free masterclass and also the free 45-minute consultation call with me to figure out if we are a good fit to work together. And with that, let's just jump into this video. This video is packed with a lot of value, so watch it till the end, and it's going to be really powerful. So I want to share some quotes with you, and let's talk about Neville's 3 propositions and then some further explanations on them. His first proposition is this one. Well, my first proposition is this one. The individual state of consciousness determines the conditions and circumstances of his life. That is key. That is the core thing. I speak about this on my channel a lot, but it is just a truth that you have to hear over and over again. Like it really is so. And at some point you just know it. You just, you integrate it. It becomes you, and you realize like you are more and even better in control of your inner state, so that the results get even better and sustainable. So that is the first proposition, right? The individual's state of consciousness, your identity, determines your conditions and your circumstances in your life. It is the deepest shift possible that you can make, right? It's the deepest level where you can make shifts happen, right? There is like the emotions level, the thoughts level, the beliefs level, but beyond all of that, the deepest level possible where you can shift that is your state level, is your identity level. The second proposition is that man can select the state of consciousness with which he desires to be identified. So we now covered that, the state and identity determines what you experience. And now Neville said, oh, okay, but even better is that you are free, you have free will to choose your desired state. You're free to choose with which state you want to be identified with, which is great because, again, if it would not be the case, then you would be always bound to your present conception of yourself, to your present state, which, would not be really nice. So that's the second proposition. Let's look at the third one. The third one is, and it naturally follows, that therefore man can be whatever he wants to be. So that is summarized. Those are Neville's 3 propositions. The state determines your life. You are free will, and you have free will to select any state that you would like to be identified with, that you would like to express, that you would like to manifest, right? So you're free on that. And therefore, you can be whatever you want to be. Therefore, you can have whatever you want to have because it is already available for you, right? So let's investigate on all of that a little bit more. You can, with this knowledge, apply it so that you can realize your every objective, right? If you understand this, embody this, test this, apply this, realize that it is true, then there is nothing that you cannot achieve. Man finds it difficult to detach himself from the habitual, okay? This is now speaking about that many people, for them it is difficult if they are in a rut, if they are in a cycle, and they always experience the same circumstances, and because they were identified with the same state, then this already became habitual, and it is really difficult to then, or people think it is difficult to then shift into another state because their current state became so normal for them. So I must be in consciousness of the thing that I'm seeking before I find it. Then the only thing to do is to acquire the state of consciousness, right? Most of us do not even know what we mean by state of consciousness. I speak about states a lot. Neville spoke about states a lot, but again, most people don't even know what actually is a state, right? But you by now know that the only thing that you are supposed to do is you must attain the consciousness of already having the thing. You must become aware of already being the person that you want to be. You must like imagine that you're already it. You place your awareness on that state. You place your awareness on that version of yourself that already does exist, so it becomes normal for you. And a state of consciousness simply means the sum total of all that a man believes and accepts and consents as true for himself, right? As a person accepts, assumes, consents, believes to be true for himself. That is what a state is. So a body, a compilation of beliefs, of identifications, of assumptions, of concepts, right? Of paradigms, all of that together, that is basically a state. So there is a state like, for example, you can be in the state of a successful business owner. You can be in the state of a loved partner. You can be in the state of a always, healthy person. Those are all states, identifications, right? Different assumptions. All of that is a state of consciousness. And now it becomes really interesting, okay? It is in the house in which he abides, and as long as he remains in that house, similar problems will confront him. The circumstances of life will remain the same. He may move physically across the ends of the earth, but he will encounter similar conditions. He can't get away from the house in which he abides. The Bible speaks of these houses as mansions of the Lord. It speaks of them as cities. It speaks of them as rooms, as upper rooms. All kinds of words were used to describe the individual state of awareness. Okay, so don't get confused if you hear that, but it simply means that the room that you're in, right? If you take room for metaphor as a state, as long as you remain in the room of poverty, you can move into another city, you can get into a new circle of friends, you can get a new job, or if you're, in the room of I'm not appreciated, you can go to the new job, you can go to a new location, but it will continue to play out. The circumstances will not change. Only if you change the room, that is when the circumstances can change. You selected the new room, the new state. Therefore, circumstances will change, right? So those infinite mansions, those many mansions, those are the infinite states that are available. I have a video called Creation is Finished. There are infinite states. You can check this out above if you want to learn more about that. But what I like so much about this part of the quote is that you can do whatever you want outside. You can move places, you can try new jobs, you can try new businesses, but as soon as the inner state, the inner identity does not match it, you cannot outperform it. You can move to a new city. If you're still in a lackful state, lack will continue to be mirrored back to you, right? And unpleasant circumstances will continue to be present in your life if you remain in your current state. If you do not know the state in which you abide, it is a very simple technique you may employ to discover that state. Okay, so I want to now share with you a simple way that you can use to identify and to realize the state that you are presently in. For the man dwelling in a state, and we all dwell in states, could easily discover the state by listening within himself and observing his own internal mental conversations. For that state is singing its own song, and it reveals itself in man's inner speech. If you will listen attentively and uncritically to what inwardly you are saying, you will discover the state. Meaning your inner conversations, how you speak to yourself inwardly. If you observe that, right? Most people don't even observe that because most people are not even aware of that, because most people are sadly unconscious. Right? That's why I want to help people to awaken and to become aware and conscious. So if you do that and you observe more of your inner conversations, you can see in which state you dwell, because those inner conversations and the mental dialogues, they basically they arise from the state you're in. So if you're in a state of, a healthy person, for example, then you will normally automatically, when we speak about the topic of health, you will speak with yourself I do not get sick. I'm always healthy. It's easy for me to stay healthy. Those will be your natural inner conversations. And this applies for all life areas, right? So the best way to discover your state is by observing your inner conversations. And I also have a detailed YouTube video on inner conversations. I will link this above right now, where I explain what they are, how they work, how to observe them, and all of that. So that what you're inwardly saying and doing is far more important than what you outwardly know or seemingly outwardly express. So when a man knows what inwardly he is doing, then he can change it. If you have never uncritically observed your reactions to life, if you're totally unaware of your subjective behavior, your inner behavior, then you're unaware of the cause of things in your world. But if you become aware of that state, then you simply go about changing it. Okay? So your inner speech, how you react to things, if things trigger you, if you start to observe that and be aware of that, you can notice where you dwell within. And if you then don't like it, then you go about changing it. Then you shift into your preferred state, into your desired state. Man is this wonderful temple in which all the work takes place, and the outer world is only a projection of the work done within himself. So let me sit down now and bring you before my mind's eye. And as I bring you before my mind's eye, let me imagine a conversation that would imply a radical change in my world. Now, a transformation of consciousness will definitely result in a change of environment and conditions. But I mean transformation of consciousness. I do not mean a slight alteration of consciousness like a change of mood. I want a transformation, and by transformation I mean that when one state into which I have moved and moved so often that it becomes a habit and the state grows stable. If I only do it a little bit and return to my former state, then I might have had a temporary lift, but I will not notice radical changes in my outer world. I will not notice these changes in my world if inwardly I have truly changed. Then, without effort on my part, I will find the outer world changing to correspond the changes that took place within me. Okay? So you are this wonderful temple. Within yourself, everything takes place, right? Within you, there are all states. You just select them. You just choose them. You just occupy them, rather than the world is a projection of those states. The world is a mirror of those states. So then he gives one example that, Neville sits down and he imagines a friend, a family member, his wife, whoever it is, to congratulate him on already having achieved his goal, because that implies to him that he now is in the state that he desires to be in. So it's just one way, right? And this is about radical transformation. This is not about, like he says, like a slight alteration where you feel lifted or you feel good for quite some time. Surface level, it's like, okay, maybe I felt good for a day, or maybe, shifted into my desired state for quite some while, but not fully. But this is about a full shift, like a full shift in who you are, a full shift from that into financial stability, a full shift from loneliness and being, unloved or unwanted into a highly adored and wanted and appreciated person, from unconfidence and fearful to absolutely confidence and abundance, right? Really tremendous and deep transformation. That is what you can do. That is what, those three propositions are about, is that it is available and that you can be what you want to be if you apply those teachings. And to conclude this is the last quote. But now you know that there is not a thing on the outside to change. That first proposition is true, that the man's state of consciousness, which simply means all that he accepts, all that he believes, all that he consents to, and that this is alone the cause of phenomena of his life. Man can change his state of consciousness, and therefore man can determine his conditions of life, right? You hold the pen. Again, you are the author. You are the painter painting on your canvas of life what you experience. It's not that, you are a victim to that, right? You are not a beggar, not a slave. You are the line. You determine what you want. So live boldly and dare to assume that you have already what you want to have. And now you know the three propositions. Now you know the three main things, right? You know that it is your state that determines your life. You can change your state. You are free to choose your state, and therefore you can determine your circumstances. Therefore you can determine the conditions of your life, your environment, how you live, how people respond to you in a sense because of your state. So this is wisdom, this is power, applied, tested, prove it to yourself. I'm here to help you. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Check out the 2 links in the video description if you need, more support or like a summary on things and easy applicable ways. And I thank you for watching this video. Leave me in the comments down below if this helped you, if you enjoyed it, if you gained some value out of this video, and I look forward to speak to you in the next video. Bye guys.